This Friday on YouPlug.
This guy says they waited on the Lord.
Yeah. I mean, I really sympathize with those who...
Maybe they're sympathizing with me.
But one of my fears going into honeymoon was that I would not be able to satisfy her.
Now, I just said it's going away.
has
We
to
will
work.
make it work.
What does that mean? That sounds superficial. How do I buy a car that I did not test drive?
Oh, for singles must be pure. Married people must be pure.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know,
If purity is limited to sex, then the gospel that we are preaching has reached cul-de-sac.
This purity was taken away from them outside of there.
Yeah, because sex is nice.
It's deep.
You know, when I go in there, we'll have sex day and night, and I mean, how do you boom, eh?
How do I make it go?
we start the engine.
How do you? Hello friends and family, welcome to YouPlug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in. Thank you for choosing our channel as your channel of choice. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for setting your time aside to engage our content. We really do appreciate that. And if you're in the space for the first time and you do not know who this guy is, nagi opa wa garamalagana gimnar nom subu wa katafas wa shadro katagas gingi dan kamazul kamra tutursa gei go blabata turo mor mutul ko mari tsani buda komo and welcome once more, friends. And I'm still chilling with my people here. We were cut short, and we want to come back again. But maybe I want you guys, for those who are new, please take it away.
Friends and family, welcome to YouPlug. Welcome to the plug that keeps you plugged in. I am Mac, and I'm not alone. I am with Mrs. Mac, my wife.
Oh yeah.
I'm the head and not the tail. We are above and we are not beneath. We are the children of the Most High God. We blessed and highly favored, a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a nation belonging to God, to declare the praises of Him who has called us out of darkness into the beautiful world of marriage. And friends and family, if you have not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Turn on your post notifications so that each and every time we post, you are notified of content. I'm just going to keep it calm because the weather seems to respect calmness. So it's going to... We are back.
Yes.
After a very disrupted episode of YouPlug.
Yeah, sure.
But we're coming to finish off what we started.
Yes.
Over to you, Oops.
Oh yeah. No, thanks. Mangi, just say hi.
Hello, everybody. It's me again.
Yes.
Mac's wife by the name. I go by Mangaliso.
Yes.
Dana.
Yes. I don't want us to waste time, Mr. and Mrs. Van. I want us to go right into it before we are interrupted again. We don't know.
Yeah.
This weather seems to be
Back to sender.
yes, unpredictable and stuff. We want to move in. We continue, friends. We talk about sex. Tamasango, which is featured in the honeymoon episode. So it's a continuation of that, and I want to encourage those who did not watch the previous episode to kind of tune in. This guy says they waited on the Lord. They say they waited on the Lord before they unboxed.
Sounds like a lie.
What do you say?
No, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. Now I have to go by what you guys are saying.
What they said is true.
Yes. No, I wasn't there. So I'm taking what you guys are saying. So I'm just relating. You guys said you waited on the Lord.
Yeah.
And by waiting, I mean you walked the journey individually and together without having sex, without cloth, without tamasangu.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want us to take it from there. We were speaking now. We were beginning to gravitate towards the concept of purity. And I asked you a question on the previous episode. What were some of the other things that you needed to do apart from just abstaining from sex?
Sure.
I don't know if you want to kind of because that's why I want us to kind of explore if you have some stuff that you feel they're noteworthy?
Sure.
I think it's just to solidify to what my husband said.
Yes.
That really at the core of it all is our value of the Christian values, and we believe very much in them. And at the center of that is just the love for the Lord.
Okay.
You know, it may sound so romantic and so easy, but like at the core of it all, it's just really our love and reverence for the Lord. Uguti, in as much as we have options, we can do whatever we want to do, but we are acting out of love, and we are responding to the love that Christ gave to us. And he loved us with that love, and what we can only do is bring it back by obeying what he assigns for us. So I think that is very important to say, that the whole journey of purity really, it's not mostly about us and what we decide, but it's purely mostly about our response to the love Jesus has for us, and we could only just do as he commands us.
And I mean, just to take it a bit further, this is just the one part of the values. Sometimes we tend to elevate this part and make it seem like once you have honored this, you are the best Christian ever, you know, and that. But it's for the sake of the conversation, you know, that's what we were gravitating towards. This one alone. That there are many other things that we need to that we needed to be disciplined on. It's just that because in the space of the relationship, this one was big. And like my wife said, like,
what do you mean was
the
big?
body?
Are you trying to saying it's small?
What?
The conversation of sexual purity.
Of purity, in essence. Of purity, the whole concept of purity is it's a very vast topic, and sexual purity too. It's not just limited to intercourse. It's also what you feed your mind. You talked last week about, you know, things like graphic scenes or things. Those are a form of pleasure too. They are it's one of the things that we also intentionally had to abstain from. Even self pleasure. Because it's something that you can do by yourself, where nobody is looking, where you don't have to be, you can even talk yourself into it and say, I mean, you know, you read about the health benefits of it. They say it's got health benefits and all of that.
I don't want to go to health benefits, and I know that, but I think because we cannot back it up. But I want to try to think. I mean, along the same line of thoughts. What did you guys have to do? I know you have responded part of it in terms of the distance has been helpful, but apart from distance, do you want to elaborate on that? The distance, you have mentioned the distance and the love of the Lord for the Lord.
For practical reasons, one of the things that we also made sure to do while we were still getting to know each other and just dating, we made sure that whenever we meet, it was around a group of friends and in public spaces, and not necessarily because you do not trust yourself, but if it ever were a moment of weakness came, you were much safer in that space. And I think a lot of people look down on that and frown on that, but for us it really helped to just know that there are places that we cannot go
and I mean, just to top that up, is that the people that you're also surrounding yourself with is important. It's amazing
because
how
the people that you surround yourself with can provide platform, can hook you up,
and they will keep quiet and not even expose you or say, they will stay faithful, or even the conversation that you they can tell you what you can do to avoid it being obvious or it showing. you want to surround yourself with people that are of the same mind, who are pursuing the same thing, who will encourage you when you yourself feel like you don't want to. You don't want to pursue this, because I mean, I remember I was telling her, not only people you surround, but the things that you expose yourself to. I remember I was telling her in our counseling sessions that one of my fears going into honeymoon was that I would not be able to satisfy her. That was one of my major fears. I was like, what if I'm not able to meet her sexual needs? Where this stemmed from was what I was exposing myself to Facebook. So heading to the wedding date, I wanted to get an idea and tips on how do you boom, eh? How do I make it go?
Start the engine.
How do you changing the gears?
So I came across a lot of content where women would say we're utterly disappointed that their man couldn't last for 3 rounds. Things like that. I don't know what the limit is. But I kept on asking, hey, will I even be able to make 2? Because I don't have prior experience. I don't know what. Sure. So I'm like, what if I don't make it to 4, or what if her rounds are 10?
So while you are on that, sure. I think that's where other people come from to say, how do I buy a car that I did not test drive? I need to first see so that I can. So if it's working, if it's really working, and when the two of you just decided to say, if it works, it works. If it's not working, it's not. We will see. We will kind of see that. But what in that context? I didn't
actually have an idea of it's not gonna work. I just said it's gonna work. We will make it work.
It has to work, because again, you only get one. You only get one. It's one person. It's one marriage.
I don't think for me personally, I actually didn't think about the opposite of if it doesn't work,
whether you will be able to
satisfy. I was really just so optimistic. I was just like, we'll figure ourselves as we go.
And I mean, I really sympathize with those who may have had an experience before, and they had a great experience.
Maybe they're sympathizing with you.
It's okay, really. Because right now,
forget about that. Continue with that thought.
but I'm saying who have to struggle with these thoughts that I want somebody who will be able to satisfy me because of an experience that they had before. I don't know, because I cannot think of any other thing that.
You know what? I have a question, and I think it's going to answer into that. I wanted to ask you 2 questions. You have people, 2 people. One is kind of in the same journey, have not been in. Are not sexually active or sexually active, and you have another one who is already sexual active, and maybe to add another one, someone who has been sexual active and not sexual active now, and they need your advice. What would you say to someone who have not started having sex? What would you say to someone who's already having sex? What would you say to someone who had sex? And by this other one, I'm speaking especially in the context of what you said to be sexual purity. What are you saying? It's just over. They must just continue. What are we saying?
So advising them on what
purity.
What is it that they pursue?
Purity. On purity.
Okay. My wife, go first.
I'll say it's never too late to try it and to do it. Not even to try it. It's never too late. It's a journey. You won't get it right. I think you won't get it right, especially if you have kind of had an experience or sexual experiences before. It won't be easy. Definitely, it wasn't easy for us without that kind of history.
So who are you advising now? I need you to single out this category.
I'm trying to put them all together in one, but let me first advise somebody who's just like me, who didn't have any sexual experiences prior.
Yeah, sure.
Like we joke around about this, but it is possible. And part of the reason that I wanted to walk this purity journey was that I didn't have quite a lot of examples. And so in my mind I was just like, Lord, I want to be that example for those people who do not have an example just like me, or few examples rather. So it is possible. You just discipline yourself and really act out of the love of the Lord, and have people around you who will encourage you. That is what I'd say to people like myself who had never before marriage experienced that.
I think for me, just to add on that while you are still thinking, and Mike will probably add, it's the fact that, if you had not tried, don't try, because sex is nice. Sex is nice. Once you try, you will not want to stop. You will minimize it and normalize it to suit your conscience, because it's just nice. That's why it's designed to be done within that context, so that there's no guilt attached to that. There's no regrets attached to that. It's supposed to be nice, and it is nice. So for me, just to add on what you are saying, if someone have not started having sex, I would say, wait. Don't start.
Absolutely.
Wait for the right person. Don't try to explore sex. It's nice. Don't be deceived. Just sex is just nice. Hold it there.
And to that same person, I'd also add that we use the term abstinence, which can be used by anyone, whether you're in the faith or not. Sometimes, usually abstinence is for us. It's for our personal reasons, that I just want to become a better person. But there's a reason bigger and higher than that, to wait, be beyond abstinence, but it's purity's sake. It's for the Lord, but it also benefits you too. So it is like my wife said, that it's a response to the love that God has shown to us, that we honor Him with our bodies, that we are His creation, we are His temple. There are boundaries that He has set on what this temple can do. It's not like what you call this. Just in life, and I was just thinking, in life generally, there's just always boundaries. We are not totally like free.
There are
boundaries that are set for certain purposes. If you're bringing up
like
a child,
I said the other time, freedom without boundaries is destructive, even to the person who claimed to be free.
So don't see it as prison, as if you are being you are being Nishad. Our editors will put the but you not be like Nishad, a very nice opportunity, because the movies make it look so good. Social media makes it look amazing.
Even outside some Christian movies as well.
Outside the boundaries of outside of the bounds of marriage, they make it look like it's not as deep as we make it out to make it out to be. Which is not the case. That it's deep. It's deep. It's nice. It is. It is. I may not fully understand and know why God wants it to be only in the confines of marriage, but me not knowing and understanding does not exempt me from the boundaries that God has set.
Because He knows better.
He knows better. He knows best. We won't always understand why God puts limits or allows us to do certain things at certain times. So I don't see it as prison, but I see it as love, that God has for us.
Before you thank you for that. Before you address the second category, let's say this person is like you, is waiting, like the two of you are waiting, but you are in a relationship. How far is too far? I've asked this question before. How far is too far?
Don't even try and test how far is too far. That's number one. Well, for us,
what does that mean? That sounds superficial.
It really isn't. What I mean by that is, do not try to okay, let me put it like this: the boundaries that you have set for yourself keep at those boundaries. As I said last week, Uti, what helped me personally was to make a decision on what was going to be the confines of how I'm going to express my love physically to him. And for us, it was just at kissing and nothing more.
Okay.
So I feel like just stick to your decision, and I can't make it sound wiser than that.
Okay.
Just stick to a decision that you make for yourself, boundaries for yourself, and stick to them.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no wiser way I can put that.
Now sometimes okay, this was my thing in my experience, is that I know what is too far. I didn't have to wait for somebody to tell me that this is too far. If I looked for that, if I looked for that, it was because I was looking for what you call this, somebody to validate what I was going to do or what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And so that I can say, Pastor Obe said, no, it's fine.
Just to soothe your conscience.
Just to soothe my conscience, yeah. So if my boundaries were here and I ask Pastor Obe, is it okay to go there, whereas my boundaries are here? And then Pastor Obe said, no, it's fine.
Yeah,
and then I go. It's what I wanted to do anyway.
Yeah, you
so
just needed validation.
Validation for that. So I'm very sensitive when it comes to this part that how far is too far, because eventually, again, I'm not the moral standard of what is right and what is wrong. We have the word of God, which is our thing, because we still debate that sex before marriage is a sin. We still debate it, even though it's there. It's there.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So
sure.
Yeah, that's why I'm just like,
I think for me, my 1 cent advice, just to add on that, I ask you a question that I don't even have an answer myself, but all I'm saying is, don't stay next to the fire, because the fire is hot. Stay away from the fire. Wherever you will get warm or that heat, stay away, because it burns. It will. But also, on the same breath, Meg, I want to deeply sympathize with someone who was raped, who was. This situation has been enforced on them. They have been sexually violated. I think I deeply sympathize with someone who's going through that experience, and my prayer is that they will find their healing emotionally and psychologically, and the enemy will not use that to kind of weigh their worth and their purity even, because that's ultimately that's the work of the enemy, to kill, to destroy, to steal our joy and our happiness. So if you have been in that space and this is kind of a touchy subject, a touchy topic to you, we want you to know that we sympathize with you on that regard, that we pray, we genuinely pray that you will find healing in that space.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because it was one that I was going to say when you brought up the 3 people that you want to advise. I was going to bring up the 4th person who this purity was taken away from them outside of their consent.
They are right,
and they are right, and who have been violated, and I mean, just in those very words. I may not understand the pain and everything that it comes with, but I believe that pursuing purity and pleasing God is still possible.
Yes,
it's still possible, and it's not that you're doing it at your own expense, because it may seem like because the way we also talk about sex outside of marriage.
Sometimes it's not redemptive.
It's at all.
Well, not sometimes. Most of the time, it's not redemptive.
Because we even tend to blame. Sorry for that. We even tend to blame women, especially, that you wanted it.
Yeah, sure.
The way you carry yourself, you invited it to come to you. So it's more like when this happens, it was not entirely outside of your will. It's like you invited it by what you were wearing, by the people you hung around with, by the time that you hung out at night, things like that. We don't address the perpetrator and the violation on on that individual.
Sure. And I think, I don't know if you will still want to respond to the second category, which is or I feel like that has covered that. I don't know. But also, I think for me, on my side, also, even in addition to what you have just said, and now I am speaking to us, even within the Christian community, and I think just to add on what you have just said, that if purity is limited to sex, then the gospel that we are preaching has reached cul-de-sac. Especially for those who have not stayed without having sex. If that's the gospel that we are preaching and it's limited to purity from only that aspect, then the gospel has reached cul-de-sac. And I'm saying that because once you have sex, there's no undoing. There's no undoing to that. But I think, and that's a very limited gospel. So what we are saying, I think, even what I'm learning from you, is that it's never too late. Purity is not for the next person, even though they do benefit. It's for God. It's for your relationship with God, and it's never too late to come back to God and wait on Him.
And I feel like to add to that as well, to just show how purity is so. God is so wise in how He grouped it, that it's even for people who are married.
Oh yes.
You know, we may speak of purity and talk about, for singles must be pure. Married people must be pure.
Yeah, sure.
You know, there are so many things that you could
waiting does not
entangle yourself in, even in the confines of marriage.
Yeah, sure.
So purity is for all people. Holiness. I think holiness just captures everything so beautifully.
Yeah, sure.
Holiness is for all people, all believers. If you proclaim the name of Jesus and you proclaim that you are saved, your call is to purity. Your call is to holiness. Married or single. So
I like
that is something that I also just wanted to emphasize, that we are still walking the walk of purity, even in our marriage. It did not end on the 4th of February. It actually just continues. So let's also not limit purity and holiness to just single people, because I feel like that's how we see such a mess within the church in terms of like married men taking advantage of young girls in the church and all of that. It's because I think somebody just told them purity is just limited to when before you're married, and after that you have the freedom to gallivant and do whatever.
Your freedom, you can do what you want, you can sleep together, and you can sleep while
you can have a third person.
And it's a mess. Maybe.
And I mean, I know it might be even pushing it, even purity amongst the two of you. There was a frustrating time that we had in Honeymoon, mainly because we are new in this. If I wanted not to pursue purity, I would want to have my way. Over her. Over her. So cross the boundaries and how she's feeling at that time. I waited for 28 years. It has to happen.
It must happen.
Every day, every minute.
So
purity is still, even we still pursue it here.
Caring for the next
purity
person.
And waiting. I mean, I like that. I think that's powerful, because most of the times we, especially within the Christian space, if you learn to not, if you by the grace of God hold yourself and not be sexually active, I think most of the time we tell ourselves that, you know, we're getting married so that we can break the fast. And you go in, you know, you even prepare yourself mentally to say, you know, when I go in there, willow signal. When I go in there, where I'm going to, we'll have sex day and night, and I'm even going to sleep with my penis inside. I'm just going to sleep there because you have told that. And also, I mean, I'm saying that jokingly, but it's a challenge, because I have seen a lot of of people, and even even in the Bible, but especially in our day-to-day life, we have seen people who have come into that space with that mentality. They end up being abusive, and they end up not paying attention to the next person. They end up, because they just want to, because they waited, as you have said, for a long time, and now the time has come. You
So
can't
now they think they have the rights to the other person's
exactly,
body.
but they are period pains in the ministerial cycle there, but also there are days where the next person does not feel you as you would like to believe, to be felt.
Yeah, you'll push those buttons, but
They don't feel you that time. You need to still wait. Even as a married person, I still need to discipline myself to wait, to learn my wife's body language, to understand, to still waiting, even when you are even you are married. But when you get married because of sex, when you are denied sex within your marriage space, you are going to seek to find it outside, or you are going to be bitter and very aggressive and be rude to the next person. So there's sex it's a beautiful part of marriage, but it's not the only part of it. Even when you are married, you will still have to wait sometimes.
Just rest, man.
And like we were actually having a conversation about this yesterday, about just beyond sex, there's intimacy.
Yes.
You know, and people should capitalize on that. Married people should capitalize on that. Intimacy does not only extend to sex.
Yeah, sure.
You know, there are so many ways to be intimate. Like, that is a different conversation altogether.
Sure.
But
You can invite us for that one.
no, I'll sit that one out. I'll sit that one out.
Sure.
Maybe after 5 years. But there are so many other ways to be intimate without that. And that is another way of respecting when the other party maybe is not in the mood, or because of like biological reasons at that time. But there are so many other ways.
Guys, there's a lot of things to be said. I want to cut this episode before the weather again. I want to cut, and we all are in agreement that we've just scratched the surface, and we've just been speaking about this from the context of these two couple who are our guests, and there's just still more space to expand on the same topic. So, and we will come back to it as you guys request, or as we see fit from our side. So the Venner family, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
This is the 5th episode with you guys. So thank you very much for yes. So thank you very much for setting your time aside and to share your journey. It was personal, it was authentic, it was raw, and we love it for that, because that's what we do here at YouPlug. So thank you very much, friends. We hope you were encouraged. We hope your faith and your hope is renewed. If you have some more questions that you need to ask these two, or including myself, please slide in those comments and we will come back to it. So from the three of us, remain plugged. Ciao.
Each other.
I win.
This production was brought to you by Imago Dei Media.
Yes. I think it's